Hello and welcome to VoiceWhat presents the great business story transforming India in association with NDTV Profit. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. The Colruyt Group in India is the technology and innovation hub of the Belgium-based Colruyt Group, driving its global digital transformation. With strong capabilities across IT, retail and strategic investments, the company is shaping future-ready solutions for India and beyond. In fact, we are today joined by Hari Subramaniam. He's the MD of Colruyt Group India. Thank you very much, Hari, for joining us on the show.
Thank you, Nupur. Thank you for having me.
So, Hari, let's begin with the inception of the Colruyt Group in India. What was the initial vision and when did the India story really start?
We are a 98-year-old institution. Just 2 years from now, we'll be celebrating our centenary. There is a very important part that actually came into picture where we call a concept called work simplification. So as a work simplification, what we do is we take any particular business process and we try to simplify them as easy as possible. So we want to bring a sustainable add value to our customers. So that has been our theme. So in the early days, to bring that, there were two things which is very important, where we have to bring in a simplicity in the processes, and then we have to adopt technology to bring easier customer experience, better customer experience, if you will. So we developed our own IT system way back in 1960s, 70s. We developed an IT system which actually ran through its life for 30, 40 years. So we had to reinvent all the entire IT processes and systems. So that's where the entire story started. To do that, we needed a lot of engineers. And there was a cost advantage, and then there was an offshoring happening. So that was the whole reason behind how this whole GCC was conceptualized. We being a retail company, we have to have cost advantage, but we have to do the value creation to our customers. And then we want to do things by ourselves because at that time the technology was not that mature, and some of the ERP solutions were not that good that what it is today. And that led to starting our own GCC way back in 2007.
So from 2007, when you entered into India, tell us how has the journey been?
We have been growing possibly like 12 to 14% every year in the last decade or so. That has been how we have been evolving it. And our retention in people have been fairly substantial. So today we are about 875 people. Out of the 875 people, we have close to 15 or 20% of the workforce who are more than 10 years with us. So that shows how we are able to retain our good talent. So there are two parameters which are very important. From a cost point of view, like the company has been growing 10-12%. So there has been every year take a 10-12% inflation. So the cost has been substantially going up. Cost has been going up, the overall cost. But the very important measure for me in that is the cost of the services. What is the unit economics, how we deliver? That has been a very important parameter. So in that one, though there is in India has an inflation of 10-12%, but our cost of services, what we deliver to our partners back in Belgium, has been only 2 to 3%. So that's the main story by itself, how we have evolved. And so we first had a center in Hyderabad. Just a year ago, we opened a second center in Coimbatore. So together, along with Hyderabad and Coimbatore today, we are very happy with the way how we have evolved. And then true to our leveraging our people and their skills and everything, we have come quite a long way, and then looking forward for the next upcoming 10-20 years.
You are investing in India, and here of course you're focusing from our talk earlier on agri-food, health and financial inclusion. So how have these sectors really contributed to your growth story?
The Korys is the entrepreneurial investment company of the Colruyt family. So as a Korys, we invest in three themes. The first theme is about conscious consumer, which is actually about how we help end customers and business units who could actually create a better place for today and for the future generations. So that has been our first theme. And the second is about healthcare. In healthcare, we focus on prevention, treatment, and also on supporting people in their entire life journey. That's the second theme. The third theme is energy and mobility. It's about helping companies and societies to make a shift from fossil into renewable energy. So that has been our three themes that we do it. So in all these three themes, it's quite active. We are globally, but when we have to take it in India, we have done today close to around 95 to 100 million dollars of investments. We have already done it in India. Today, most of our investments are today in agri and also in healthcare. When I look at some of the technologies and solutions that we have in Europe, they are quite paramount. I know they are really very futuristic, but then India has a scale and the possible. But I really see that how we could bring some of the technologies and solutions into India, and then we could make an impact to our society, and that's what we are looking about it. And then we have to see how we go from here thereon.
What are the future plans that both the Colruyt Group as well as Korys Investments have for India?
We typically invest in three asset classes. The first asset class being the direct investments, and the second asset class is in fund investments, and the third one is in liquid. So today it's about, we have about 90 million, and where I think we would like to see if we could make our investment book to around 250 to 300 million in the next 5 years. That's what we are looking at it, and where will they really typically we'll do it. And we're very consciously, we're going to look at some co-investments and direct investments in the next 5 years. One sector where today we are not that active, apart from our first investment, renewable energy, we will look at few funds which purely focuses on energy and mobility. It could be circular economy, it could be about in terms of smart grid solutions, or it could be about in the new technology revolution, how we look at it. So possibly we look at some investments in that particular sector. We are quite actively looking for investments in healthcare delivery and access, because that's the biggest challenge in India today. And the third segment is in agri. That's an area we really like a lot. We have done investments here in India in some of the largest fruits and vegetable integrator. Possibly we look at one or more deals in that sector. So I think that's the direction for us in Korys to build a 300 million portfolio in the next 5 years across fund and direct investments. So that's what we look at in Korys. Now if I go to Colruyt Group India, so though we started as an IT company with providing non-core IT solutions, we have also been very active in VC investments. So we have one of the very unique player in India, a GCC company, which is also doing VC investments in India. We have done 2 VC fund investments in India. We will look at maybe more investments in the VC space in India, purely focused on technology one and deep tech. So we'll continue doing that. And the second one is about our Boni, which is our private label, which I have to do with. So Boni is our private label in Belgium, one of the most well-known name in the Belgian market. So it really stands for authenticity and quality. We look at that. So today we really think there is a huge market in India to bring our private label, possibly even bring other new categories into India. So that's the second one that we'll focus on. And the third one, we have an international procurement office for all our international procurement, where for our private label we source from different geographies. So now from within India, we also started actively sourcing for our private label. Like we source shrimps, grapes, spices. So now we want to see how we could take this even more further into India. So in a nutshell, we do different things. We are actively invest from our family office. We have a very well-established GCC where we continue to add value in IT that we do it. And then we have diversified into our retail trade in private label, in VC investments, and also sourcing. So that gives a view for how we want to evolve the next 5 years to come.
The India group actually plays a larger role in the digital transformation of the Colruyt Group globally.
Today what we do from India, we do quite a lot of things from India. We have, along with our teams in Belgium, we work on the digital solutions in the supply chain, in the finance domains, in our shop applications, in our data platforms. We provide pretty much in everywhere we are involved from India in providing these digital solutions. And another very good example is that today we are developing a super app in Colruyt Group, which is called Extra, which is one of the most highly downloaded apps in Belgium. So this super app brings all our brands and services under one unified platform. And I'm very happy to tell that that entire platform is being developed and managed from India today. So that's a story about what we do on a digital transformation.
How do you see the Colruyt Group India actually contributing to the Indian startup ecosystem? Because in India today, that is the big story.
Today we are very actively involved with a couple of incubators and accelerators in India. And next to that, we have done 2 investments in VC funds in India. So those investments are because there are 2 ways in which we can engage with startups. One, we invest in them, we learn from them, and we give them market access. So that's one channel we are looking at it. And the second is that we are also looking at it how we could actually, because just another step back, we truly believe in a 5P philosophy. What is a 5P? There's a people element, there is a planet element, there's a prosperity. Fourth part is where so important it is about the partnerships. We have to really leverage the startup ecosystem. So to the extent today we are already in discussions with many startup companies and fund managers through which we could collaborate to bring the latest and greatest solutions into our platform, into our organization, and also how we could also give the market access also back to them in Europe. So anyway, I would say we are very active, and then this doesn't end here. We also institutionalize this process where our technology leaders from our company, they directly collaborate with some of the startup founders, with the accelerators, to bring together some of the new solutions that they're doing together.
So it does look like the Colruyt Group is looking at a bright future in India. Thank you very much, Hari, for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Hello and welcome to VoiceWhat presents the great business story transforming India in association with NDTV Profit. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. Medprime began with a student idea and grew into a medtech pioneer focused on innovation, accessibility and impact. Today, its digital microscopy platforms are redefining how healthcare reaches every corner of India. And I'm now joined by Samrat, who's the founder and CEO of the firm, and Grishma Unnikrishnan, who is the founder and the COO. Thank you very much for joining us. Pleasure to have you.
Good morning.
Same here, the pleasure is ours.
Give us a bit of an insight into actually how Medprime began, and what was the spark that actually led you to the point that you are today?
So obviously things start from very beginning. For engineering, I opted for biomedical engineering. There was a turning point in my life where I was with my grandfather for his treatment, and my job was very simple, just to observe the IV infusion process and stop it just before the completion of the fluid. But unfortunately, multiple times I failed. When you fail to close the tube, there is a backflow of blood. So that was a very annoying thing for me, and it was very frustrating. As an engineer, I saw that there is a gap, and even this simple process was a manually driven process. So I thought, let's make something that will resolve this issue. And after that, I shifted to IIT Bombay. I started studying there, and I met like-minded people there, Grishma and my other 2 co-founders, Benil and Mahesh. Then we thought about this problem. Even our professors was like very supportive. So we thought that why not just only making device. No, let's take a very constructive route and a systematic route and form a company and then start the Medprime. So from there, everything started.
So as we were talking about earlier, you started with InfoCheck and then you actually moved to digital microscopy. So give us a bit of an idea about how that pivot happened, and what did you really learn from that shift?
The device which we were making, we named it InfoCheck. At that time when we started, getting fund for a hardware startup was very difficult. So we faced lots of challenges for testing, validation also. And at the same time I was doing my MTech, and there was a project that I was handling. My job was to make a simple portable microscope that can capture RBC and WBC images, and based on RBC size we were predicting the sickle cell anemia. After making that device, I started demonstrating it to the pathologist and other users, experts. So I received very good feedback from them, and they also guided us that if you incorporate these features, it will be very useful for the entire pathology community. So we decided that okay, let's make this also in Medprime, and then from there we designed Cilika, and after first prototype again we repeated the same process, and again the same feedback we received that now this is very good device, and one pathologist offered us to buy that, even in that raw condition, and that was like something where we realized that okay, this is a very high margin and low volume product, and we can sustain our company on this product.
Okay. So now Grishma, coming to you, so what's been the core vision for your firm? And you were earlier speaking about innovation, accessibility and affordability. So how do you ensure that and balance all three?
So I think the core vision has always been accessibility. You have to innovate keeping in mind affordability. So what we have done is that we have innovated from the ground level up, keeping cost effectiveness in mind. And because of that, we are able to ensure that products like Cilika and Micalys, they are not like a high-end luxury product, but they are like a practical tool that is suitable for every Indian lab.
So what is it that makes Cilika actually stand out from other microscopes that are there in the market right now?
We're proud to say that Cilika is a product that has been capable of reliably replacing the traditional binocular microscopes that have been used since ages. With Cilika, with the patented technology that we have developed, we have been able to ensure seamless integration between the microscopy optics and the digital display device that would be a smartphone or a tablet. And because of that, we have been able to overcome the limitations of the lag. It's extremely user friendly, it's ergonomic, there is no reduction in the field of view. We are able to maintain the magnification, resolution, all of that. And hence, Cilika microscopes have now become, a tool for daily reporting and the routine use rather than just an exception.
How do you think Cilika as a product has actually impacted healthcare in remote areas in the country? And is there any story that you'd like to share with us that stayed with you?
A very good example of how Cilika has created an impact we can tell by the effect that we've had in the Melghat region by the work done by Mahan Trust. The nearest lab for the 250,000 people that live there is 150 kilometers away. Because the location is such that there is no reliable transportation for samples, for the daily samples that are there. What happens is usually they do not take that up, they do not go for the testing, or even if samples are sent for testing, the turnaround time even for critical diseases, it's like a life-threatening 4 to 5 days. So with Mahan Trust, after the deployment of Cilika, what they were able to do is they were able to achieve a telepathology link between a lab technician who's present in Melghat region and the pathologist who sits in Amravati. Right, so they were able to do things virtually. Instead of sending samples physically, they started sending digital images and the digital sharing the sample remotely. And what the transformation that happened was that the turnaround time reduced from 4 to 5 days to just 2 hours. Now, because of this, there was prompt treatment and more informed patient care, which contributes to reducing the morbidity and mortality rate in the area. So Cilika is not just a product, it's actually a blueprint for a very successful blueprint that can be replicated in other places as well.
Tell us a bit more about Micalys and how does it really complement Cilika, and what is it that one ingredient that makes it unique in telepathology?
We started with Cilika, and Cilika acted as a milestone for digital microscopy and associated with telepathology. Universities and medical colleges are also using Cilika. But what message we received from them that if you can make it more automated, not just the image transmission, also if pathologists can control this microscope from anywhere in the world, that will be a revolutionary change. So that's how we started developing Micalys, where we introduced automation, and now with that automation, pathologists can actually control this from anywhere in the world. We developed the whole slide imaging system also, where we just capture thousands of field stitch it together and make it one single image, and then we can share it very easily. Like with one QR code sharing, you can transmit the image to any pathology sitting in the world, and you have access of complete slide visualization. Micalys is just like a ideal solution for a path lab where all of their microscopy needs can be fulfilled at one place.
Right, so Grishma, tell us what's next for Medprime. Are you looking at new products? Are you looking at new markets that you could enter? What's the plan?
We are working on multiple softwares that will help in analysis of blood smears, filaria detection, semen analysis. We are also working with other companies, collaborating with other companies, other software developers. So we will be able to provide all these on one platform, that is Micalys, right? Other than that, we're also working on a reporting module that will, optimize the workflow for a pathologist, because they also have to shift from doing things, in an analog manner to a digital format. So having everything in one workflow, one software is going to be very easy for them. So we're working on that as well. We are looking at international markets, specifically Southeast Asian countries. We are focusing on Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, also in Middle East and African countries.
How do you see digital microscopy really transforming diagnostics in India? Because there is a lot of lag in rural areas particularly.
So the main issue is that diagnostics is mostly centralized now. So most labs work in a hub and spoke model. Most experts are located in the larger towns, larger cities. Now what something like digital microscopy can do is that it can actually decentralize this, which means that instead of the sample being shipped from the remote areas, it's just the digital data that can be transferred, the images or the videos, or maybe even live stream the sample to the experts sitting in the cities. So basically what we can do is we can have this the expertise of the trained pathologists reach the rural areas without them having to be physically present there.
So finally, for entrepreneurs and innovators, what is the advice that you would give Samrat, and then we'll come over to you, Grishma, as well.
In every field you have certain gaps that you can identify, and when you find out a problem statement, then you go for validation of that problem. Directly don't jump for the solution, but first try to find out that what you are solving and if it is worth solving or not, and then you can innovate, you can make the device. You have to innovate in the processes also, like how you will take that device to the market. So innovation at every stage is important, like in the process of business development also. So think in that way, and then you will reach to your destination.
Wonderful advice. What would you say, Grishma?
So what I have to say, I think from our experience is don't be afraid to pivot. If you hit a roadblock, analyze what went wrong. And I think the second thing that I would say is, don't compromise on quality, because sometimes you try to just try to make the product as cheap as possible in order to, to get the best out of the, to be the most affordable product. But in that process, do not lose out on the integrity of your product. We feel that if your product, your solution is actually the best, you will find the right customer who is willing to pay for it.
All right, Samrat and Grishma, it was wonderful to have the two of you on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.